water. Not feeling out, yes, sir. Not this. Oh, I'm about to answer the question right now. Carmen says, "What's the topic today, my friend?" Oh snap! I'm your friend. That's what's up. Not an associate. I'm a friend. Today's topic. My bad. I'm literally waking up. Today's topic is going to be on Head and Shoulders, which that's what I traded. A Head and Shoulders today. I traded something different, but it was a Head and Shoulders pattern as well. But yeah, we're gonna go over Head and Shoulders, how to identify a Head and Shoulder, how to trade a Head and Shoulders, and also how to see a Head and Shoulders about to take place before it happens. But one thing, and thank you for actually asking about what's the topic, because it just reminded me, we're gonna talk about the inverted Head and Shoulders first, because I always talk about the Head and Shoulders and be doing all this fancy stuff. And then I don't even get to the inverted Head and Shoulders, even though it's the same thing, it's just upside down. But we'll get into the inverted Head and Shoulders first, and then do what we do. All right. Well, I'm gonna drop the chat. Well, I'll leave it open. Just give me 1 second. Let me just go grab me some water. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Luther, I ain't see you up in Big Bane's class lately. Where you been at?
Hey, who you use as a broker on Forex? Whoever was talking.
Come on now, that's Naja.
Yes, I don't have no broker account.
So WSX Pro is what we were using, but unfortunately they've been going through some mess. They holding a lot of our monies hostage right now.
Okay. And can you send me a friend request? And because I don't want to hold Moody up. Just send me a friend request so I can talk to you then.
All right now, boo. Gotcha.
All right, appreciate it.
Oh no, Luther, you could have kept talking. You would have given me more time to recalibrate.
Well, I can keep on talking so you can calibrate. Luther, WSX Pro is a no, and then we tried to do Henko trade, but Big Bane was having issues with them too because they're holding his money hostage, and there's no customer service. You can't call anyone, you can't talk to anyone. So if you're looking for a regulated broker, I would say forex.com, Owanda, something like that. I would suggest you do your research. Now, I'll be honest with you. Now, Forex is like, what is it, 50 to 1? Their spreads are a little different. It's not like, a higher leverage than the unregulated brokers. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather have a regulated over unregulated because I don't need nobody kidnapping my money. I work too hard for it. So at least I know about 4 of us. We're still waiting to get our money back, and we haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, I was looking at that video we had, man. That's kind of scary there.
It is. It really, truly is. So I would suggest, like I said, Owanda or Forex. Just do your research. I am in KOT. I think it's KOT, but I started that like a year ago when I first started trading, and I was trading indices. So you can imagine. So I have that as a backup, but I'll probably create an Owanda account probably by next week. And then just so you know, he's also doing Nadex. So that's kind of like options, but a little bit easier. You can double your money basically. So just look it up. I think he has this stuff posted on his
What about Ninja Trader? What about Ninja Trader? Is that a good one?
I don't know about Ninja Trader. I'll look it up and definitely let you know what I find.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, so I was gonna get some water. I got some Sprite. Oh, what a life. right. So today we're going to be talking about inverted head and shoulders. Did I start recording this? I probably did. Yeah, I did. So today we're going to be talking about inverted head and shoulders and inverted head and shoulders, as well as head and shoulders, how to identify them. Not really the location, but just how to identify them and how to trade them. And also how to potentially see it beforehand. And for the person who was talking about the boot camp today, I'll be talking. It's not gonna be a really long class. It just depends. Sometimes it'd be a long class with my energy and we just start talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. But we're just gonna be talking about how to trade the market opening and high probability setups. All right. So to get into this class, Blink. Let's start with Blink. That's what I was trading anyway, right? Blink had a beautiful head and shoulders. All right. So real quick, one thing I would like to say is I'm a strat trader. I trade a lot of different strategies. But to be honest with you, patterns are very subjective. Just because you see a pattern doesn't mean it's going to play out that way, right? Price action always outweighs that. So let's always try to keep that in mind. But patterns are there, right? And when I say patterns are subjective, it's just, if you've seen it on a certain time frame, it's on that time frame. Majority, 9 times out of 10 is not on a different time frame, unless you just know how to see certain things with your eyes and you train them. And you're like, oh, I think this is happening on a small time frame, like I normally do, like how I see a bull flag on an hour or 4 hour, and then I bring it all the way down and it's like bull flagging the whole way through, but you'll see a whole bunch of more patterns in it. That's just like a little bit more advanced, right? So the head and shoulders that we traded on Blink, that ain't there. As you see, we just see like a cup. You could try to be like shoulder, head, shoulder, but it's really shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline broke down. This is more so of a cup, right? What else do I see? Yeah, I see a cup. But as we go down to a smaller time, I see an inverted cup. As we go to a smaller time frame, right? Let's drop it to the 4. You see that head and shoulders now? So let me show you something. So on the daily, you're not gonna see it. But if you train your eyes to see it, you will see it. Just the movement of it, right? Like, even though we see this huge cup, if you make it bigger, you'll see like, yo, this is like a head right here, shoulder and shoulder, right? So if you take it down to a 4 hour, it's there perfectly, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Let's use, well, I'll just draw it out. This is your neckline right here. Boom. Right, so this is what a head and shoulder looks like. Let's go to Google. Does everybody know what a head and shoulders look like? I know I tend to just keep my mind thinking that you don't know what this is. Y'all could drop it in there. Ooh, heartbreak. Y'all can unmute yourselves, or y'all could drop it in the chat to let me know if y'all do know what a head and shoulders is. Or if y'all just want Moody to just do what Moody does, I could do that too. Yes, Kenya knows what a head and shoulder is. Josh knows what a head and shoulder is. Awesome, cool. All right, so for everybody that didn't answer, I'll just do what Moody does. So what's the head and shoulders? We'll go back to the chat. Big up, Moody. Appreciate you, Kamar. So head and shoulders. Well, I'll read the description, but I'll just show you like a few pictures here. So we're always gonna have a left shoulder. We're always gonna have a head, and we're also gonna have a shoulder. This is one of my favorite patterns to explain because I be killing it. I'll be killing it. But the reason I love to explain it is because I just love this world. I love myself, right? We are the world, right? But I love everything about this world, and the Head and Shoulders reminds me of Africa. It reminds me of Egypt. It reminds me of the three great pyramids, right? I say three great pyramids because there's so many more pyramids, right? There's even one here in Georgia. But yeah, so the three pyramids that we all recognize and heard in time with ancient history and things of that nature, that's how I look at a Head and Shoulders, right? We get one small pyramid, we get the ultimate bigger pyramid, and we get another small pyramid, right? This one is best to explain it on. You see how it looks? Literally looks like three pyramids, right? Another thing to keep in mind is that the two pyramids, which are your shoulder, I explain it with being like a pyramid, or you could literally like how you see my face right now. I'm a Head and Shoulders pattern. Shoulder. See how I just made a pyramid? That's the first pyramid. Your first shoulder, when it creates right here, you get your head, right? And notice that I'm putting it under my head, this pyramid. The next one creates your head, right? And then the next one creates the other pyramid. I'm doing this for a reason so it could click in your brain. When you're seeing the Head and Shoulders, you do not want to see your pyramids going over your head, right? You want to see them still. You want to be able to see your head poking out so you can confirm that that's a Head and Shoulders, or you're just seeing aggregation. You know what I'm saying? Now, a Head and Shoulders, they print out a lot and they will not be perfect. Some of them are perfectly seen, some of them are not perfectly seen. Like this is just textbook perfect, right? This is a Head and Shoulders that's not perfect, right? You see the wicks all out of whack and things of that nature. You got your shoulder right here, which is the whole entire shoulder, is what I've learned now, right? And you also have your head here and then your shoulder here, right? And then also you see how your neckline is going down diagonally. Why? Because this Head and Shoulder got printed out diagonally on the chart, right? Due to the price action. Don't argue with me, please, because I had somebody when I be explaining this, they be like, Moody, that ain't no Head and Shoulders. If it's not a Head and Shoulders to you, then it's not a Head and Shoulders. Call it what you would like to call it, right? But I find Head and Shoulders diagonally, straight, and going up this way diagonally, right? Because I'm aware of price action, and I know price action dictates everything, and it can aggregate a certain way and create the Head and Shoulders a different way, right? Because normally when we see them, we're going to see, not normally when you see them, but the ones that we tend to see majority of the times are the ones that are kind of straight, and the neckline is straight, and you got your shoulder, you got your head, and you got your shoulder. But let me just go ahead and point out, as you see, this shoulder is not engulfing the head, nor is the other shoulder, right? So always let's keep that in mind. And the inverted Head and Shoulders is the same thing. It's just upside down, right? You get a left shoulder, you get a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. So I tend to always forget to talk about that one. So let's go to SPY, and because I've seen one today on SPY. And it was on a smaller time frame. Oh, and another thing I'll say about patterns, and it goes for all patterns, even though we're talking about the Head and Shoulders, patterns are best seen anywhere between a 15-minute time frame to a 1-minute time frame. I see them all the time on a 5 and 3-minute time frame and a 1-minute time frame. When you're seeing them on these smaller time frames, understand that you don't have a lot of time to trade them, right? So if it breaks neckline and goes down, take your profit and things of that nature, because it could reverse. It's not a Head and Shoulders on like a 4-hour time frame, which is going to keep pushing it down, right? So always keep that in mind. Let's go find this. Let's go to 3-minute. It's funny how I charted this chart and it's still valid. That's so crazy. Like it's still inside. When I say it's still valid, it's you see the big Head and Shoulder, the big inverted Head and Shoulders. But I'm gonna show it kept printing out a whole bunch of these today. And like today was like a bull flag day, bear flag day, Head and Shoulders day, inverted Head and Shoulders day. So when I say that it's valid, is the fact that it's still playing in this range, in this inside of this range, right? It played in this range a little bit, gave you your put targets, and let you go ahead and get some targets out the way, right? And it did the same thing. What my put target turned out to be is it was the put entry, and then it became a call entry too, anything above it, right? I had stopped looking at spots, so I can't I didn't alert certain things. But so let's look at the first inverted head and shoulders. This is the one that I was calling out, that was printing out. Obviously, you don't see it right now, right here, because the one is the 3 minute. Remember what I said, right? Depending on the time frame that you find it on, that's where it's at. It's not going to be on another time frame. You may go to that time frame and it's not going to be there because patterns are very subjective, right? There we go. All right, so this is the one that I saw that was being created and did not play out, right? Shoulder, head, and shoulder, right? It don't matter that the wick came through it, it's still there, right? Let me go ahead and delete it because I'm pretty sure y'all be able to see that. So now, no, you probably went to the knock, just threw me off and I don't see it as much, but it's still there, right? But what should have happened is, right, when we created this right shoulder here, it should have bursted up and it did not, right? So that's why I say patterns are subjective. But now we ended up getting another one here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And it kind of did what it needed to do, which was to shoot back up. Right, and it shot back up. Can everybody see this inverted head and shoulders? I don't want to just be drawing stuff and you're like, look, yeah, Moody. Let me get a Y in the chat. All right, cool. Somebody raised their hand. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Michael. What's up? Yes, everybody sees it. Hey, Michael, I'm not sure if you have your hand raised to ask a question.
Say, Moody, my bad, bro. Sorry to cut you off. Can you draw your neckline on that inverted?
Yeah. So the neckline on this one would be, it's right there, literally, this white line. You could bring it down a little lower, like to make it perfectly, like right there, like you see your shoulder where it's being created, boom, and then your head, boom. That's your neckline where it was bouncing from, and this is when it broke. All right, I'll draw another one. Was you able to see that, Michael?
Hey, I have a quick question for you. So this is actually like my very first like Zoom call with you, and like kind of just learning like how you find like the patterns and that type of thing. So how do you, I guess, like determine, or how are your indicators set up to where, like, what do the numbers mean? Like, is that like the strength of the candle, or like what do like the numbers represent?
I won't get into it too much, but I'll guide you to the right direction. I just don't want to get thrown off. I know it's your first time with me. I don't use indicators to trade. That's just a price action strategy. It's called the strat. Each numbers mean a certain thing. The market only does 3 things, right? I'm teaching patterns this month, but I'm a pattern trader as well, but I trade price action. And the only indicator that I do use is going to be that RSI that you see right here on the bottom. Everything else is just basically naked candlesticks. So
right. So basically it's kind of showing you if it's like being overbought or oversold kind of thing, and then determining your, what you're playing with based on that, or
no. You kind of explained a little bit like what the RSI is, but to talk about the numbers that you're seeing on these candles, they have nothing to do with like being overbought or oversold. So it's just only 3 things happen in this market. There's only 3 things that the candlesticks can do, which is be a 1 bar, 2 bar, or 3 bar, right? So 1 bar is an inside candle, right? Like, let me go find one right here. And that's why it's a 1, because it's an inside candle and it did not break the high of the previous candle nor the low of the previous candle. We do not trade 1 bars, we trade the next bar after it to pick our direction. The 2 is simply just telling you what direction the candles are heading to now, right? Because a reversal took place, and you only get a 2 if it breaks the previous high of the candle or the previous low of the candle. You cannot get a 2 up and a 2 down at the same time, right? So that's what a 2 is. It's picking the direction of the market and letting you know where the stock is trending to for the time being until it reverses back or something of that nature, right? A 3 bar is an engulfing bar. It's letting you know that, hey, it's creating a broadening formation, which is something to the strat, right? It's like a symmetric triangle that it's creating. It's creating a smaller broadening formation on a smaller time frame. I'm on a 1 minute, so obviously it's creating it on the 1 minute. But long story short, a 3 bar is an engulfing bar, which we call it an outside bar because it broke the previous high of the previous candle and also the previous low of the previous candle. And then if I was to just drop my chart, there goes my cheat sheet on where my targets are at. Like literally I trade the strat because as soon as you enter into the strat, it doesn't matter how you enter into the strat, you're going to be using one of these combinations. And when you enter into the strat, it automatically gives you your target, your stop loss, and more magnitude. So that's why I love it, because I don't know no other trading style that I can just be like, oh, this is going to be my stop. Like I can look at the chart right now and tell you what your stop loss is going to be, what your targets is going to be. Like I know exactly what's going to happen in the market. It's not that I'm a genius. It's just that's what the strat was designed to do, right? And then we also had the person that created the strat. His name is Rob Smith. I did an interview with him and we brought him into the Discord and picked his brain and things of that nature. You could watch both. You could watch that interview as well on YouTube. It's in the recorded tabs in the Discord, or you could just go to MoodyBugz, or no, it's called Life with Moody, my YouTube channel, and you can see it in there as well. But this is coming from a trader.
Wow. I've never.
This is the second generational trader that created this. Second generational trader means that his dad was on the floor in the stock exchange trading as well. He's been on the floor in the Chicago Stock Exchange, and he's been trading for over 33 years, and he created and developed this, right? So there's nothing, this is what made me successful, and what helped me quit my job, because I had quit my job before I found this, but this is what took my trading level to a whole, my trading experience to a whole nother level. And this is my favorite strat. This is what I'm a strat trader. And what's crazy is that Jordan just hired another analyst and he's a strat trader. But yeah. Was you able to understand that?
Yeah, I think the charts are like really incredible because like so basically it's kind of like not really a guarantee, but that'll like really kind of just show you like the direction of whether you're entering into calls or puts potentially.
Yep, absolutely. Just a dumb, simple way to say it, yeah. But one thing I would say is that we know exactly what the market's gonna happen. Like it's not guaranteed. It ain't nothing's guaranteed.
Right.
But it's like it's like a 90%, 95, 99%.
So do you also, I guess I had like another question. I apologize.
No, you're good,
so
bro.
I was also curious, do you trade like trend lines? Because we had a little bit of a breakout like towards like noon and like 1 o'clock, or I'm sorry, we had more of a downtrend towards that time frame, and then we had a little bit of a breakout towards like 10 or 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like early this afternoon. And so I was kind of curious, do you ever trade trend lines to determine like a potential breakout formation happening?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I trade, just to like throw it out there. I'm a strat trader. 9 times out of 10, I'm trading the strat. But it's just I've learned so many different strategies that I trade stuff without even knowing that I'm trading it. I trade patterns. I trade supply and demand. I trade support and resistance, similar to supply and demand. Trend line breakouts. What else? I just don't use indicators. Whatever I can do by myself with the charts, and I tend to brag about that because I know people need indicators. People need a cloud to get them to get in the trade. People need an EMA to get in the trade. I don't need. So now that when I I never knew that I could brag about that. This is just how I learned how to trade. I didn't learn how to trade throwing EMAs and throwing this stuff on my chart. I learned how to trade with like support and resistance first. So I kind of I don't know a lot of traders that can do that, right? I only found Jordan that can do that. Other traders, I know a lot of other strat traders that do that now, right? Like Sarah Sniper and such and much more. But if I tend to see somebody throw up a chart, or if I jump on a class, doesn't have to be in this Discord, right? But jump in a class, I look at the analysts and I see what they're doing. You know, oh, okay, cool. I don't want to learn from you. It's just because I don't want to learn certain things, because when you're trading, whatever you learn, it's going to be hard for you to stop doing that. Because it's just what you trained yourself to. Like it's everything psychological. You probably smelled something when you won that one trade and you was looking at the EMA and you put it to the EMA and you feeling like you won that trade because of the EMA. So you're not going to leave that. And even if you try to leave that, you're going to go right back because it's just your foundation, you know, of how you learn how to trade. How I know that? Because I won't let this RSI go. That's the only indicator that I picked up, that I mastered and learned. And I still like to look at my RSI. Like I could look at naked candlesticks and I'm still going to pull up my RSI. Like, what RSI telling me? Because I have my own strategy with it, right? So that's the only reason I be talking how I'm talking. But ain't nothing wrong with no indicators.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, bro. All right. So let's get into it. So that was that one, Head and Shoulders, right? I seen another one. Hold on. Coming into here. Oh, it's right here. This one failed though. Very subjective, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder, and did not bull flag break up, right? Because this is a bull flag right here, or a cup and handle, however you want to look at it. So let's get into it. How do we trade inverted head and shoulders, right? Because I'm pretty sure we all know what it looks like. So let's use this one right here because it's more clearer. Head and shoulders, once you see it, right? 9 times out of 10, once you've seen the head and shoulders, you missed the move, right? Because you just saw it, right? It's a head and shoulders or inverted head and shoulders. You missed the move. Like if you can see the full pattern, you're basically missing the move, unless you're seeing a full pattern like this, right? Like the shoulder, you got your head and you got your shoulder right here, and it's literally at your neckline. Like you seen this one, boom, right? Once you see that one, you could get this trade, right? And this is to be your entry. Your neckline will always be your entry to take it down, right? And you just look to your left. And that's why I say I'm always going to utilize the strat, right? Because I'm trading a pattern, but now I'm going to look to my left and I'm going to grab my targets, right? All these white lines that I'm about to draw right now are your targets, right? And it's going to let me know where I need to be trying to get out of my trade at, right? All of these is where I could potentially trim, add to my position, or take my profits and be done with this trade, right? So as you see, once we broke up, we took this entry. I'll make this entry purple so it doesn't throw us off because all these are white. So purple is your entry, right? As soon as it did that, it started going up, going up, going up, and it hit all your targets. This was the first candle, took out all your targets, right? That's what it did. And then these came through and kept going. You try to hit this target, and then this target got taken out when this left shoulder on this inverted head and shoulders got created. Is everybody able to see that? And is everybody able to understand how you enter into an inverted head and shoulders trade? Using the neckline? Yes, yes. All right, cool. So now let's get a little bit more advanced. Do y'all want to get more advanced, or do y'all just want that little bit? I'm gonna start asking y'all questions because Moody just be talking. All right. What prevents you from getting out of the trade on a pullback? More advanced. Jose says, what prevents you in general, or are you talking about like what I'm talking about? Because that's why I be getting confused with questions, because when I read them, I'm like, are you asking me a general question or about what I'm talking about? General question, how do I stay in a trade? On this trade? Oh, so you're talking about like right here. First of all, I'm gonna just be real with you. I would have took all my profits right here. Once it would have took out all, once it would have, that's 3 targets. You know what I'm saying? From 384, 15, 16, all the way to 384, 55. I would have took my because like as soon as I would have seen that Head and Shoulders, like boom, I would have like, yes, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it would have been cool to take it all the way to 384.71 or something of that nature. I would have never even been in this trade right here. Why? Because I'm a real trader. Why do I want to be in my trade that long? Like I teach this stuff in boot camp. Like I don't know real traders that's on a 5. What am I? I'm on a 1 minute time frame. I don't, and please don't say I just get passionate. I don't know real traders that making real money that's going to be in a trade for in a 1 minute chart for 30 minutes. Like that's retarded. You know how much money we're putting out? There's no reason to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you like, this is what I'll give you a gem. This is what I be showing people in boot camp, but it's a whole bunch of different stuff that goes in with it. I'm just giving you one little small gem. I'm going for 10 to 30%. Great if I get 50%. Anything that gives me more than that, those are runners. That's not my full position. Those are runners. If I'm getting 100, those are runners. You know what I'm saying? And the best way I could say it is just, and I could be wrong because it's just my assumption, but I'm in and out of my trades at 10 to 30%. I'm not gonna break down what I teach people in boot camp because they pay for that, and I don't want to make them feel no type of way. And Luther on here, hey Moody, he gonna get on my neck. But long story short, you're just not buying enough contracts. You're not putting enough capital in your trade. That's why you're staying in those trades. What I've realized in my experience of trading and being in groups, if I took an analyst trade and you're telling me, yo, we're at 40%, trim take profits. We're at 80%, trim take profits. We're at 150%, trim take. You're capped. You only bought 2 contracts. Don't lie to me. You lie to the rest of them. Go ahead. Moody not gonna be fooled. Cause who the hell wants, bro? You know how emotional you're gonna be in that trade? I trade and I control my emotions. Cap if you want to. I'm not doing that to myself. The only time you're going to see me getting crazy percentages like that is if I'm doing my rolling 4 strategy and I am swinging for 3 months out or 6 months out, or if I'm doing a swing trade that I have 2 to 3 weeks on my contracts. If I'm playing a weekly contract, you're not going to see me holding that at all. I understand the Greeks. I understand time decay. I understand the market makers. I'm not doing that to myself. I'm not blowing my account. I've done that plenty of times already. Is what I tell people is okay to make mistakes and learn from them. It is not okay to continue to make the same mistake. That's retarded. On this trade, correct, got it, makes sense, cool, boom. Yeah, bro, I just got a little passionate. But how I'm gonna, to answer your question though, to answer your question, how to stay in a trade during a pullback, because I do that, right? I do that. But explaining this right here, nah, I would have just took that profit. Why? Because I know the stock that I'm talking about. I'm talking about SPY. I know how SPY aggregates, right? If it was a different stock, if it was the ETF, if it was a small account builder, I would have stood in that trade because that trade moves very slow, right? It's not gonna have me emotional. SPY does not move very slow. SPY moves very fast, right? So long story short, how do you stay in the trade? So say if you would have entered in right here, right? This is, and I'm gonna just utilize the strat, and then I'll try to just do it in another way if I remember. But we're entering right here, right? And on top of that, this is a 1 minute time frame, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, 1 minute time frame. So let me utilize this. We enter at this purple line, right? Stop loss automatically is down here. As soon as we ran up there, if I want to stay in this trade, I'll use the purples. If I want to stay in this trade, since my stop loss is down here because I am entering on this trade, I'm not going to put it on this candle because this candle could go down lower, right? And just stop me out. I'm going to wait for that confirmation. As soon as this ran up like that and we got our new candle, Moody's telling you I would have been out like around there. I would have moved my stop loss to this to this candle, right? Because this new candle would have had open. So that's how I would have stood in the trade. This right here will still be taking money away from me. I won't be breaking even or anything. So what you do is you'll move this stop loss when you get your next 1 minute candle, right? Onto this candlestick, and that'll be a low. And what you do is from here now is the fact that, let me turn this one off, is the fact that this candle comes out and it's closing now and bringing you this candle. Soon as you had a whole minute to move that, you put your stop loss right here at the bottom of this. Now, regardless of the fact, if you get stopped out, you're getting stopped out in profit, right? Because this candle was still an inside bar, right? Letting you know like, hey, it's still aggregating to the top, or it can go ahead and reverse to the downside. At this time, at 10:54 is when you would have got stopped out your trade, because this candlestick went 2 down and triggered your stop loss. It said, please get out your trade now, right? Because the strat is telling me that we have now reversed to the downside on the 1 minute chart, not on a different chart, because on a different chart, this is still going to be an inside bar to these, to like, let me see, 1, 2, 3. On the 3 minute chart, this candle would have still been an inside bar to this compounding all 3 of those candles, making it a 3 minute chart. Does that make sense? And go back to the chat. Yes, awesome. Yes. All right, cool. And then another way, easy way to do it is like if you already have support and resistance or certain targets drawn up on your chart, just utilizing breakout methods, where we know that if this candle starts to bounce off of this candle and it's holding price, like this one did, it still bounced off of it and it's holding the price, the level of this white line is wicking. Boom. The next one, it wicked down, but it closed over it. The next one, wick down, it closed a little under it, gave you an evening star and shot right back up. Even when the next candle on a 1 minute candle came out, it didn't come out next to it. It came out 50% of that candle and then shot back up, right? So that's another form of staying in your trade, utilizing the support and resistance of your targets and seeing that wick just wicking down off that line. That's letting you know that they're trying, somebody around there on that level are not wanting that price to go further down, if that makes sense. And you could utilize it that way. Bronx, come here. My bad, my dog out here doing weird stuff. I heard my door open. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So now let's get to it. And that's how you trade an inverted head and shoulders. So all right, so I got a question, because I normally do this on a head and shoulders, and I'll do it on the head and shoulders for the recording purposes. I've done it plenty of times on different recordings, but I'm gonna do it again because I know it'll be blowing people's minds. But do y'all know like how a head and shoulders or inverted head and shoulders even gets created? I want to engage with y'all. I want y'all to learn. Y'all can unmute yourself or drop it in chat. Nope. Jose says nope, and then he quickly says, oh no, that's somebody else. Says bull flag.
Bull flag and a bear flag.
You're right. Somebody said something?
I said a bull flag and a bear flag.
All right, what does that mean?
Meaning a bull flag right after a bear flag. I mean, a bull flag, yeah.
All right, so when I'm saying what do you mean by that is because I asked 2 different questions, inverted or head and shoulders. Which one starts with a bull flag? One starts with a bull flag, the other doesn't. Well,
The head and shoulders.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. So 100% right. So a head and shoulders, the first pattern that you see is a bull flag. Let me go back into the chat. Hey, bro, that's dope that you know that. I could tell like you've been studying, and I'm saying you be in the classes and really digesting everything that you learn. That's fire, bro. Congratulations to you. Jose said bull flag as well. That's going to be for the head and shoulders. Correct. That's how the head and shoulders starts to form. Somebody said no. Dor said no. Kamar says sell off. I don't know what that means. That's not a pattern. But I know what sell off means, but it's not. I look at sell off like breaking neckline. Kenia, I don't want to say your name wrong. I'm sorry. No. She said no. Failure to make a lower low. That's right though. I can't even say that that's wrong because that was a trick one. You funny, Richmond. Oh no, it's Rothschild. Ooh, Rothschild. Which Ra? I don't know. Let me get out my head. Rothschild. I like that name. Child of God. Whatchamacallit? But yeah, it is a failure to make to make lower lows. Somebody said PMG. No. Somebody says no. Evening and morning star. No, it doesn't start it, but there is a like evening star, morning star, right? Because like the head is gonna do that slit kind of. Okay, Jose says if it's a bull flag, if a bull flag creates the first shoulder, then what would a bear flag create the second shoulder? Exactly. We're talking about head and shoulders now. Yeah, big facts. Big facts. Big facts. So it's a bull flag that starts your right shoulder, your left. We're talking about head and shoulders, your left shoulder, right? Once that bull flag, like look, pole flag, breakout. That next breakout, that's a pole too. So it creates like about 2 bull flags, pole, flag, breakout, right? Once you get that other breakout, that's the top of your pyramid. That's the head now. You already create, this is your shoulder, bull flag. Once it flags, that's your shoulder. Breakout is signifying, oh, it's creating a head. Once it does that, it kind of creates more little small ones, or it just starts to like cup, right? Once it does that, and if it starts to cup, is either like a cup or a morning or an evening star, right? That kind of forms it a little bit. Like right here, you see like this head part, evening star. Evening star. You know, it forms like a cup, right? And then you can see the bear flag. Once it forms that evening star or cup and it starts to go down, it clears that evening star or whatever the case, whatever pattern it's trying to create, and then it starts to bear flag, breaks down, one bear flag, another bear flag, until it gets to his neckline. And right when it gets to his neckline, that's when if it breaks and it wants to break, it's gonna go down because it's a bearish pattern. So yeah, Jose, perfect, bro. I can tell you learning, bro, and you're paying attention. That's super dope. All right, so we'll go and talk about all of that. Let's talk a little bit about the inverted head and shoulders. So the inverted head and shoulders, kind of the same thing. Sometimes it's a little different. Obviously on this one, it created us a bull flag first, right? So a bull flag and into a cup and handle, right? A cup and handle that fails to the bottom, right? As you see, this is let me draw it out for you guys. Bull flag. Damn, let me be great. You should have did it all the way to the top. Oh, I got my magnet on. There we go. Right? Everybody sees this bull flag. Right? And this is a cup that is doing, but I'm just drawing the bull flag. That's the breakout to the bull flag, right? But it's also creating a cup. This is a cup handle that fails to the downside, right? This is your cup right there. Ooh, no, I can't do it with this. This is the trend line. I'm tripping. It's just a little cup right here. So then what happens after here? Somebody named out a PMG. There's always going to be PMGs in a lot of different patterns, right? Because this is a PMG, lower lows right here. And you can see how one candle takes it all out. This is just a 1 minute chart. If you was to put both of these candles together, it'd be just one big candle taking it all out. And what it looks like, it looks just like this right here. Getting a whole bunch of lows. One candle is called a pivot machine gun, PMG. Takes out one, it just takes it all out like boom. See, you can see it right here. Even though this is a broadening formation, a TTO back to the bottom, but you see the PMG, the lower lows or the higher lows right there. One candle takes it all out, or a couple of candles, just depending on the time frame that you're on. It takes all those lows out and goes down to its pivot, right? As we see it right there, and it happens right there. What happens after that? You get like a funky little morning star. It's just not perfect here, but you can see the pattern right there with a small candle being in the middle. Don't mind this wick, that's just a price action, because if it was just right here, you would have noticed and would have been like, hey, that's a morning star. So that's still there, right? So you got your morning star with your 2 pillars, and then you got your continuation off of your morning star, right? I had a class on the morning star. Morning stars are one of my favorite patterns. Morning stars are reversal patterns. Morning stars are reversal patterns, and evening stars are reversal patterns that lead into continuations if you grab them at the right time, right? So long story short, that's what we're seeing, right? So it creates that that little bear flag or morning star, because it's still a bear flag right here that pierces up and, you know, gets to its magnitude. Once it does that, once it creates that morning star and it keeps going up, what is it going to do? Another bull flag, right? And that's what we got right there. And it breaks that bull flag to give you bear flags, right? Because that's how that shoulder gets created. But the thing is, this is the end of the pattern. I'm now just explaining what happened. What should have happened, let me move this. What should have happened up here is when you got that bull flag, you should have broke to the upside and took out this PMG, but that's not what the price action decided to do, right? And it went down. So let's go over to Blink, because that's where I know for a fact there's a head and shoulder, so I don't have to be jumping everywhere. I'm trying to find this. We can see it on an hour. It's perfect on an hour, but it's super perfect on a 4-hour. See, and this is how, ooh, geez, delete, wow, didn't delete it, okay. That's the head and shoulders right here, right? And this is your neckline, and you could also use this as to be your neckline, my entry, because that was my entry, right? But me, I just like my necklines being tight, right? Because I see how, boom, faked this out, came back up, boom, faked this out, came to the neckline, finally broke it, and then, well, finally confirmed to hold the break, and then entered onto my put targets. White lines are always my entries for calls or puts, right? And then, yeah, we just took this guy all the way straight down. And funny thing is, when I called out, everybody seen I was just smashing targets. When I finally called it out, and I was like, all right, trim, because I'm trying to help people, I guess, not be paper hand like me and hold their trades a little longer. I went ahead and called it out, and I was like, hey, you could go ahead and trim or take profits, whatever the case may be. What happened after that? A reversal back to the upside, right? How did I know that? Because of the strat. The strat's telling me that. I just came down and mirrored it. It was going to come mirror this candle, right? And I knew for a fact, if I did not alert this last alert on the 5th, I was like, all right, it's time to get out this trade, because we just took out this PMG. It's not to say that we're going to take out all the PMG, you know what I'm saying? But it took out majority of it, right? So I'm not going to sit here and be super greedy, because I was already being greedy, right? I took way more. My first trim was over 30%. And I was that's really greedy for me. It was a bag, but that's still being greedy. And I don't like to put my emotions, I don't like to put myself in a greedy state of mind. I'm just grateful for whatever the market wants to give me. So yeah, all right, so let's talk about, that's how you trade it as well. How you enter a head and shoulders is by its neckline, right? Whenever you are able to identify its neckline, which is neckline is going to be right next to the shoulders and the head. Is going to be like the breakouts. You know what I'm saying? You seen like right here, it broke out. Right here, it broke out. You can kind of see them right here too. Right here, it broke out. So that's where your neckline is going to be. And that's what you want to break and keep going all the way down, right? So keep that in mind. Let's talk about what everybody was just talking about that fascinated me. I was just like, man, y'all fires. So depending on the time frame that you go to, right? Because we also call it head and shoulders. If anybody sees that right here, shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline. It broke a little bit and then retraced. Can everybody see that? I'll be trying to take my time, because I know that even when I'm drawing it out on my screen, it looks slow, but to y'all, it be moving fast. Yes. All right, Jose can see that. That's awesome. Let's get it, Jose. So And I drew this one out just so you can see that there's gonna be so many patterns within the head and shoulders when you're seeing them, especially if you go to a bigger time frame, you're gonna see more patterns. It just depends on how it's printed out on a bigger time frame. You see a lot more patterns on a smaller time frame, right? But they're subjective, so you're gonna see that on any kind of time frame as well, right? Because like I'm gonna leave this one right here. Let's jump it over to a 4 hour. Boom, where the hell is that head and shoulders at that I just drew? It's there, like we can see it because we drew it out. And we're like, oh, okay, it's kind of there. But if we would have been on the 4 hour, we would have never seen that, and we would have never called that a head and shoulders, right? But we seen it on an hour. So when you've seen patterns, if you want to continue to see that pattern and understand that pattern, you don't go to a bigger time frame. We've seen this one on an hour. You take this down to a smaller one. Take it to a 30, you're gonna see it perfectly there. You see it? You take this over to a 10-minute chart, you're gonna see it perfectly there, right? But you're just gonna see way more patterns, a lot more consolidation. You see that? But if you go up higher, you're not gonna see it. When you're charting, wherever you chart, whatever you do on the chart, you start bigger and you go smaller. And when I say bigger, please understand that big, like go bigger, go to the hour, go to the 4, go to the daily, and then go down. It'll work out for you every single time. If you go from an hour and try to take it up higher, or you're starting at a 5 minute and you're going up higher, just prepare to blow your account, man. If anything, just give Moody the money. I need it. Give me the money. Don't give it to them. Give it to me. But that's what's gonna happen because it's just subjective. As you see, now that I'm on a 10-minute chart, I can find so many more head and shoulders, right? Let me draw it out. You got one right here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Some people be like, well, Moody, no, that's not, it's going diagonally and things of that nature. Yes, okay, I understand. There goes your neckline. Oh, okay. There goes your neckline right here. Right? That's your neckline. But I understand how price aggregates, and I'm a price action trader, right? So I'm not gonna let that head and shoulder be subjective to me. And you can see it, when it broke its neckline, that thing traveled all the way down. And what did it try to do? Give you another head and shoulders, right? But this one was like kind of sloppy. The only reason I say that is because this left shoulder is a little higher than this right shoulder, but it's still there. And what happened? Neckline, well, neckline is really like right, is this white line going up this way. And that goes for the person that was like, yo, do you trade breakout like trend line breakouts? Obviously I do. You see that? Bloop, 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 because those are trend line breakouts, right? So when I'm seeing that head and shoulders, there it goes again, boom, it travels all the way down. This is the head and shoulders that we're seeing on a 4 hour time frame. If that makes sense. We're not seeing this one or this one. It's a part of it, right? The one that we're seeing on a 4 hour time frame is the overall pattern. Like if anybody notices, there's nothing but head and shoulder. I can find other patterns in here, but look, there's nothing but head and shoulders inside of this head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. Everything is breaking neckline and everything keeps going down. Shoulder, head, shoulder, breaking neckline, everything keeps going down. Once you smash your candles together, you see the overall pattern. Head and shoulder, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline. Ah, dang, I'm a beast. I'm just playing. Let me stop playing. But yeah, you know, I don't really know. I don't know much. I have to be looking at the charts. Does everybody see that? Anybody got any questions? Anybody want to mute themselves and ask questions? Or I'm about to jump off here soon. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the little bull flag breakouts and stuff like that. But is this clicking for everybody? Is everybody starting to understand this? And starting to understand how to utilize certain time frames and going lower to a certain time frame to see the overall patterns. 4 hour, bring it back there. You won't see all these funky lines, but you'll still see this head and shoulders in there. You see, and those are all the lines that I drew of head and shoulders, necklines, and you go to a 4 hour and it's like, dang. That's how I was able to see it, because now I train myself to see this like this. This is coming from a smaller time frame, but now I'm utilizing it on a bigger time frame, seeing like, okay, it's there. I see that, right? But yeah, and this was like a strong confirmation. That's why I kept saying, like, is anybody taking this with me? Because it was really strong. There was no wick to the upside, nothing. We just kept pushing down. I stopped looking at any other trades after I seen this, and I was like, nah, let's just get it. I even added to my position. All right, cool. Let me read this question right here. Jose, so if we see a Head and Shoulders on a 3-minute, does that automatically mean we will see it on the 5-minute as well, and also the 10-minute? No, you just did the opposite of what I told you to do. You're literally going from a smaller time frame to larger time frames. I just literally did, like, look, I'm literally doing it right now. Do you see any of these Head and Shoulders that I drew on this smaller time frame? So to answer your question, no, that's not what Moody's saying. What Moody's saying is, to take your example, you will want to go from the 10-minute chart and see the pattern, right? Like, let's talk about something else, Moody, so it could click. Bear flags. Whole flag. And inside of this bear flag, it's creating an inverted Head and Shoulders. That's why it's good to draw on your chart, because then you start seeing extra stuff. But now that I drew this bear flag on this 10-minute chart, you could take it down to a 5-minute chart, and you'll still see that bear flag, right? And you'll start seeing different patterns within there. If you take it to the 3-minute chart, you'll definitely still see that bear flag, right? And more little different patterns. Since I drew this on a 10-minute chart, now I'm going to do what you just said. If I take this to a 10-minute chart and I bring this over to a 45-minute chart, I still see the bear flag, and you're going to start noticing if you do it, like, oh, that's a bear flag, right? But it's not going to be there as you see it, right? I know for a fact, me drawing, just so I can explain myself, no matter, it depends how high I go. As I go up, you're still going to see the bear flag, because I chose to take all these candles. All these candles, as I go to a bigger time frame, will become smaller candles, like, because I'm compounding them, right? So that's why you were still able to see it on a 45-minute, where you see that. But if I take this over, I'm gonna let you still see it to the hour, you're still gonna see it, bear flag. But let me go ahead and take this bad boy over to 4-hour. You ain't gonna see that. You see it? It's starting to form, right? With these wicks. These wicks are breaking up into candles and showing you that. But if I take it to a 2-hour, you start to see it. Why? Because I know that an inside bar is creating a bear, like, we're under the 50% retracement of this candle. Look, this is what I mean by 50% retracement. Megan, please. Thank you. Let's be successful here. That's your 50% retracement right there. Where it says 50, this red line, it is under that 50% retracement, so I also know that it's flagging. If it was over this 50% retracement and it was an inside bar over here, it'll be bull flagging. This is bear flagging. All right. Make sense? Let me go back to the chat. Okay, gotcha. It's the opposite. Yup, exactly, bro. More. Yup. See, you caught yourself like that. And trust me, that happens, bro. It's just because you're learning this. So it's just like you're just trying to register. And that's what is good about asking questions and then reconfirming what you learn, because it may click for you as you watching me, and then you forget about all of this. But if you was to ask the question and be like, yo, you'll mess up in your question, because you're gonna say whatever you're thinking, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, got it now. It really clicked for me. You feel me? So that's why I ask people to ask those questions. John,
Hey,
you said what, bro?
just a quick question. I got in late, so I don't know. Did you look at Apple at all? Because if you did, I don't want you to have to go over it again.
No, I haven't been looking at charts. I've just been talking about Head and Shoulders and inverted Head and Shoulders.
Okay, so would you be able to look at Apple between 11 and like 12:30? Because it's a Head and Shoulders now that I see it. But when I was in the trade, I guess I'm just trying to like pick your brain, because I got out trying to keep a tight stop loss. But had I stayed in, it looks like it basically would have been what you're talking about. So would you mind pulling that up on the 1 minute?
Man, hell no, I don't feel like doing that. I don't want to help people. No, I'm joking. Don't take me serious, bro. When I'm sleepy and I'm tired, I'm delirious as heck. All right. What was those times that you told me? 1 minute chart, what time?
Like between 11 and like 12:30. Like it's got a whole head and shoulders.
Say it again, my bad. I'm so tired. 11:30, 12:30, say?
Yeah, I think you're right there.
All right. Yeah, that's a head and shoulders. And I'm proud of you for seeing that. Most people would be like, nah, that's not a head and shoulders, because they want to see it perfect. Like,
So
you see how I wasn't seeing it perfect. It's just another way to see something perfect is utilizing your chart, like playing with it, closing it up. Like, oh, okay, cool. You know, you may see it like this, and you're like, nah, I don't see it. Open your chart up, open it up, and you'll see it. But yeah, you see it. I guess I'll do it on this one, right? I'm gonna show you.
My question to you is like, I got in on, let me see about what time. I don't have the exact time around, but I was probably in somewhere around like 12:30ish. Because I saw it, I know you don't use EMAs, but I saw it reject the EMA. But then it started making that right shoulder. However, while I was in the trade, I wasn't thinking of it making a right shoulder. I was thinking it was picking up like some steam and maybe headed back up because it made a lower low. I mean, I'm sorry, a high low. How would you played that to stay in the trade? Because my gut was telling me it was coming down again, but I didn't want to mess around today because I know it was kind of choppy and all that. So how would you
play that word, bro? Stop saying that word, bro. I get so frustrated with people use. Don't listen to that word, bro. When you hear that word and somebody use that word, understand that that person is scared. The market's not choppy. The market just aggregates up and down. People that use those words, they scary people.
I got you. I was just trying to play it safe. I kept like a tight stop loss, but that right shoulder as it was going up, that's where I kind of got out thinking because I saw the higher low. Yeah. How would you play that to just stay in it? And obviously my initial feeling was right because I played a put thinking it was going to continue going down.
Yeah, I got you. You're a pattern trader? What kind of trader are you?
Just kind of price action, to be honest with you. Price action, just watching what it's doing. And I just noticed the Apple was running so much that I knew eventually it was going to reverse. So I was trying to play the reversal more so.
Got you. All right, I got you. Yeah. What? Yo, that is fire. How did that happen? What in the heck? My strat is all the way down here. You see that? That's crazy. All right, so real quick, hold on. That's throwing me off. Let me just oh, my strat's not even on here. Where's my strat? My strat is on the RSI. That's crazy. I'm about to not leave this like this. I need to figure that out. What? That's crazy. My bad, bro. I always like to learn something. All right, so you do price action, right? So one thing I'll tell you that you could have did was the fact that when you see lower lows like this and you're in the trade for puts, understand that this is creating a PMG straight down, right? Meaning higher lows like this, right? One candle is going to go take all those stop losses out because it's going to be a domino effect, right? Oh, excuse me. But I'm gonna give you the stupid, dumb way. Excuse my language, but I'm gonna give you the stupid, dumb way to understand that. You entered in, first of all, let me shout you out. Fire freaking entry, my brother. Why? Because you caught a bear flag. You said you entered in at around 11:30. You see this bear flag right here? This is 11:30. You entered in anywhere in here. Boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You caught the bear flag. That's fire. Dropped it down. You're catching all of this profit. You could have trimmed, right? Because your targets are going to be right here. Look, always look to your left. Like when you don't have your chart marked up and you running down, always look to your left and know that these lower, oh dang, not that one, but these lower lows are going to be your targets. That's where the stock is going to go. That's its support and resistance, right? So with that being said, let me just delete this one because it's wrong. boom. Those are support, it's your targets, and then it turns into like support and resistance. So how would it stood in this trade? This candlestick would have kept me in the trade right here. Boom. You see that? Before I explain it, do you see it?
Yeah, I got you. You're showing the okay, so I see what you're saying. It basically served as resistance.
Yep. Right. I would have, even though it was starting to go up, would I understand that this is a big bear? Look, let me show it to you. I have to always remember that just because I see something doesn't mean the next person sees it. Pole, flag, right? The flag, I'm doing the whole channel, but it should have been done to like right here. Once I see this, D-Wiz taught me this, right? Where it's when you see a bear flag, what you want to either see it reject and then break down, right? Quickly, like this one. Flag and boom, broke down. That's what you want to see. But if it keeps pushing up, that's called, it is piercing the bear flag, which is creating a V-shaped recovery, right? Triangle, all of this fall, anything that I talk about, patterns, anything, I can always bring it back into the strat, because the strat is literally every single thing everybody's trading in one. Right? So once it was doing this V-shaped recovery, you see the V-shape, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So once it did that V-shaped recovery, it always likes to mirror a candle. And I'll show you this anywhere, like even right here, like let me just show you. Boom. Ooh, dang, I should have. When it came back up, like right there, this was its breakout, right? It's either gonna reject right back down, how you see it, look what it did. Blue, reject right back down. But the bulls picked this up off the bull flag and broke it up. But that's what the candlesticks are always going to do. And this is what you do to not get faked out of trades. And I'll show you this again somewhere else. But that's the simple and dumb way to just explain that part right there, where you could have, because I'm not going to talk about a stop loss and stuff like that, because you would have got stopped out, right? If you entered in right here and you put a just stop loss there, you would have ended up getting stopped out your trade, right? But the funny thing is, do you see that little head and shoulders on the V-shaped recovery that it created before I draw it?
Oh yeah, I mean it looks good now that I see it, but exactly
Which
what happened.
head and shoulders?
What are you talking about? You talking about the left one or the right one?
I'm talking about the small one. It's a super.
Oh, on the way going down, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's on this V-shaped recovery, if you can see it.
No, I'm not really seeing it there.
Yeah, I took a nap too. I finally did, and I took a nap. But I'm running the class. I'll call you back. You said what, bro?
Nah, I'm not seeing the one that you're trying to point out now.
Okay, cool. Shoulder, head, shoulder. You see it now?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that way. Like I was more so afterwards, like after it all played out and I was looking at it, I did see what you drew on there as far as the bear flag. That I saw afterwards, but while I was in the trade, I didn't catch that. And if I would have thought of that big candle as a resistance point, then I probably would have hung in to see if it broke that. So yeah, that makes sense though. That helps me out.
Yeah, so and even right here, and this is why I be talking about like, oh, how it gets created, because if you learn how it gets created, you start to predict it and see it. But so you can understand like these resistance, like this is a resistance right here. Let me get, where was I? This is also a resistance right here, right? That this purple one, and you could throw your fib on there. It's just because it's a nice, decent candle, right? And you bring it to the bottom of it, and you see the rejection at the 50 mark. If it doesn't go reject up here, it's going to keep rejecting this 50 area. If it keeps rejecting this 50 area, we're going to go down. Any candlestick that's not holding its 50% retracement is going down, bro. You want me to show you? Look, no cap. Put it on this candle. It didn't hold 50% retracement, went down. You see what I mean? I can
Yep.
put it anywhere. If it holds this 50% retracement, it's gonna go up or it's gonna go down. 50% retracement right here. It held it, went up. Look where these candles came down and stopped. The 50% retracement. Then it broke. That's why I teach people to strat. And I'm gonna run a boot camp on just the strat itself. I'm not running a boot camp right now on it, but I'm gonna do that as well, just so people can really utilize the strat and know how to do it, right? Because I learned something that I created. I make it my own. Like the 50% retracement, this is something that Sarah Sniper, I won't allow nobody to take that credit away from her. She created that off of the strat, right? Rob created the strat, and then Sarah Sniper created the 50% retracement rule off of this pattern right here, the rev strat. Because we enter, as you see, the rev strat, we enter at the bottom of a 1 candle, and then we take profits. Like, just imagine that this was the target to this one. We'll take profits down here, right? So what she created was, I think I actually have the one that she made in here. This is one that she made, but let me see if it's there. Yeah, right here. This is the one Sarah Sniper created, right? So this is the rev strat. You see how the picture I showed you, we used to have to enter in at the bottom of the break of the 1. She took that away and she recreated Rob shit, and that's fire. And what it is throwing the fib on the 1 minute, on the 1 bar, and whatchamacallit, catching this 50% retracement. Seeing that this 3 candle was a 2 bar. It was a 1 at first, it went up, broke the previous high and became a 2. Let's do it at this one, I'm sorry. It went up high and created a 2 bar, right? And it didn't open as a 1 bar, it opened up as a 2 bar because red candles opened up at the top. It broke the previous high. So this 3 was a 2 at first. It started failing. It started coming down, hit your entry, the 50% retracement of this candle, right? That was your entry. And then you can take your target right there on this 1 bar or on the next previous bar. So we was able to enter our trade short, if that makes sense. Bro, what you want, dog? But yeah, so that makes sense?
Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And look, for the person that was asking, let me see if I can just scroll it up. This is what the strat, oh, Jesus. This is what the strat is right there. The price action diagram works on all time frames. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 6 minute, 7 minute, works on all time frames. A 1 bar is an inside candle, which is consolidation, which is a tightening range, right? Because it's tightening its range to be able to break out. A 3 bar is an outside bar / an engulfing candle, takes out both sides of the previous candle, right? It took out this high and it took out this low. This is just a 2 bar that took out the low of that candle. A 2 is directional. 2s are up, 2 ups or 2 downs. Direction, it breaks from previous candle. So yeah, that's why I like the strat, because I know what's gonna happen in the market. Yeah, does anybody have any questions? Any questions? I normally stay on here even longer and just start teaching other stuff and going crazy, but I do have this boot camp and a lot of personal things that I have to take care of this week before I get on the flight and head back on vacation. But yeah, man. If y'all got questions, I'll answer them though.
Hey, Moody.
Hey, what's going on?
I had a trade where I on QQQ, and I try to play like a breakdown. I don't know if you won't have time to pull it up, or I'll be at your boot camp too. But yeah, like at 7:36 Pacific time, I entered on like a 2 down candle, and then it reversed on me. So I was wondering if there's any candlesticks that you could explain in strat terms on how I could have caught that going the other way.
What time?
For me, I'm Pacific, so it's 7:36. I don't know if you're Eastern. It's like 10:36.
10:36, yeah.
So I was I was playing a kind of like, it was kind of flirting with the pre-market lows, and then it kind of broke down. So I caught the impulse candle coming down, and then it just created a pivot and it came back. Yeah, right there on the right side, right there. Yeah, I caught that right before that. I caught it. It came down and then it just reversed on me.
I know why it reversed on you. It's because it was a pattern here. You see the pattern, right?
Which pattern? Is it now? It becomes a inverse head and shoulders.
It's a head and shoulders. You caught a head and shoulders. It entered into an inverted head and shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you traded it, you entered on this red candle, right?
Yeah, like I entered right before it. Yeah, like that doji. I don't know. I just kind of anticipated it was a little early, and I kind of went green for a second, and then it reversed.
Yeah.
So
what you did, you caught a PMG. You see the PMG right here? You caught it
yeah,
out of there and it took it out. The reason it reversed too is because this is your neckline right here, right? That's your neck. Oh no, hold on. Let me bring that up a little bit. Your neck. Come on, let me be great now. Your neckline's right here, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Also, this pattern, right? This is the overall pattern was the head and shoulders. The reason it reversed on you is because this is a 1 minute chart. I don't know what what time frame you was doing it on, but like I was saying, like on 1 minute charts, when you're seeing these patterns, it's in and out, right? Because it's a 1 minute chart, it's gonna do whatever it does, and it's gonna create another pattern, and it's gonna keep doing what it needs to do, because this on the hourly time frame is all you got to put up 60 candles, to this 1 minute time frame. So what I'm seeing here from hindsight is that it gave you a head and shoulders, also a PMG. For anybody that doesn't know what the PMG is, this right here on the right shoulder, and that one candle takes it all out. We're gonna go back to the chart. What I'm seeing is that it gave you your move, right? So your targets, you should have been out your trade. You entered in right here, so you automatically had a target right there at this purple line, your neckline, and then you had a target right. Let me put the thing on. You had a target right there. That one is kind of the same target, so I'm not gonna draw it. And then you had a target right there. You should have been out of your trade by then, because the candles to the left is showing you, just like what I had just did on Apple with the resistance, this is just the opposite. This is the support. You're coming out to take these pivot lows out. It's just like these pivot lows never got taken out. It almost got taken out by this one, right? But
yeah, that was what I was kind of trying to go for. I was trying to go for the low of the day, Yeah, so I kind of waited too long, and I got out on the impulse candle coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't play the 1 minute. I think I was on the 3 or the 5 minutes. So I was kind of waiting for the candles to finish, you know what I mean? And I don't know how you could spot it earlier, because if it does push down, you could expect a little continuation. Obviously, with how some of the other stocks looked, I felt like there was a chance of moving more than just one candle before reversing.
So you entered in, if you was on a 3 minute, you entered in, it was like you said 10:30-ish or 12:30? You entered in at 12. What was the time you entered in again? I'm trying to find the candlestick. You muted yourself, DW.
10:35, my bad, on your time.
So you entered in for puts?
Yeah, I got puts.
Yeah.
10:35.
Yeah. It just,
Yeah.
me being on a
So like,
I would have never did
yes,
on a 3 minute chart. Like I
I don't
could
know why.
right on the 1 minute. You see how I had the head and shoulders here, and I could explain like, oh, you entered in here, you got a great move. But
I think because of that doji, and I thought I was gonna kind of have a continuation a little bit. I don't know. I just thought it was gonna be able to take out both those lows, but that's just when I entered it. Yeah.
Yeah, today's class on boot camp is gonna help you out because you like to trade the market openly, and that's what I'm gonna teach, how to trade the market openly. Ask Luther, he know what it is when it comes to the market opening with me. Luther probably pissed off that I should have took it. But yeah, I'll go
Okay.
I'll go more in depth on it on the boot camp. But
All right, I look forward to it.
Yeah, being on a 3-minute chart, I would have never went for puts on the 3-minute chart. Even when I went for my put, well, I wasn't on QQQ, I was on SPY because I shorted SPY today at one point and I got out too early. But
I just saw that we're kind of getting below the pre-market low, so that's why I think that was the resistance line that I had.
yeah,
So
I
I
just
felt
don't
that
want
we're
to
just
give out
gonna
the,
push.
yeah, I just don't want to give out the gym yet. I know what you should have did. It's just that's exactly what I'm teaching today.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to tell. Well, I just say it, bro. You should have. I'm not gonna do that because it's not fair to everybody else. But no, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it in class today. Because you almost had it. You was like right there. You almost had, and right when we do the class, you're gonna be like, dang, bro, I knew it. That I already know you're gonna say that. You're gonna be like, I knew it, man. I knew that. I don't know why I did that. I knew that. But yeah. But yeah, if anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm definitely about to jump off. Appreciate y'all. Give me some time. I think boot camp is like in the next 2 hours. I'm gonna try to get me some sleep. You just saw my sister call me, like, and she just texted me and said, get off that class and please go get some more sleep. Because I just haven't been sleeping. Fire class, bro. Thanks. Oh, appreciate you. Dang, I didn't read this one. See, you might have said this already, but my signal cut out. Is there a certain time frame you use to first look for patterns? It depends on what patterns. I do like yeah, see, that's something I'm teaching in boot camp today, high probability trades and what time frame I use for them. But yeah, I do. I have specific time frames to find specific patterns. Looking for head and shoulders pattern. No, I don't have a specific time frame for a head and shoulders. Only for the patterns that I truly like. It's literally these patterns that you see here. I know all the high probabilities to morning stars, even stars, bull flags, bear flags. But yeah. Gotcha. Thanks. Yeah, no problem, bro. But yeah, the 4 hour, I'll tell you that. The 4 hour time frame, and it's just I didn't did this so many times in different classes, but I just don't want to throw off the people because I'm gonna go in depth about it. But for the people in boot camp, but yeah, I utilize the 4 hour time frame for certain patterns. But yeah, let me stop sharing my screen. But yeah, if y'all don't have any more questions, I'm definitely jumping off here. Appreciate every single person joining the class and engaging and unmuting themselves and talking back with me. It gives me energy, especially when I'm tired and I'm low on energy. Yeah, it just gives me energy to keep going and teach y'all. So that's why I'll be saying like, hey, unmute yourselves, talk to me, give me let me know something, because it'll spark my mind to teach you something. And if you just stay quiet, just be like, all right, peace out. But yeah, y'all guys have a blessed day. Peace out.